Coach Ryan.
I'm Ben.
This is Ben. So we're going to show you 3 mobility drills, one for the ankles, one for the hips, and one for the thoracic spine. So let's start from the ground up. If you have a good mobile ankle, all right, that's going to be the first step in having a good squat. So if you find a wall, put your hand down and then put your foot right next to your hand. All right, so from this position, I'm going to have him keep his heel on the floor, all right? Keep his heel on the floor and then try to touch his knee to the wall. So go ahead and try that, Ben. All right, so Ben can touch his knee to the wall, and that gives me a pretty good idea that his ankles have a decent amount of mobility. Let's say he comes forward and his ankle comes up, all right? There's some sort of restriction going on there. I don't have my x-ray goggles on, and I'm not a doctor. I just play one on TV, all right? If he can't get all the way down, we're gonna initiate some ankle mobility drills. One of those things that's good to do. Keeping the mobility in your ankles is something that you wanna have for the rest of your life. So the test is also the exercise. So getting as far away, right, from the wall as you can, and then pushing forward. See how far away you can get from the wall, pushing forward until you start to feel a little stretch in the back. Rocking forward and back. This is not one where you'll just hang out for an extended period of time, but you're actually moving through that range of motion and trying to get a little bit of a stretch and strengthening the bottom of your foot as well. All right, so Ben, if I was coming to you and I said, man, I'm squatting, but I get a lot of tightness in my hips, what would you have me do for that?
Well, the hip flexors are tight on most people. So I'm gonna have Ryan put his left knee down on this pad. He's gonna put his right hand on the box. And let's get that right foot right in front of the right hip. From this position here, he can just stretch the hip flexors, keeping his foot down. He's gonna go forward and back, get a good squeeze through that left glute. And he can actually probably move his knee forward a little bit. Right there, because he does not want to lean back into the lumbar spine.
I don't want to do this?
Does not want to do this. Most people stretch their hip flexors too aggressively. They'll get into a position where their knee is too far back, so put your knee back even further again. And then they really try to get in this bowed position in the spine. Look at that lower spine there, super arched. He's actually stretching his hip flexors too much there. He's putting the load into his lower spine. He's going to want his knee a little more forward again, squeezing that glute, but keeping the natural curvature in the lower spine. Light stretch, a good squeeze in the left glute. As he squeezes that left glute, he's going to get a light stretch in from the hip. If he wants to take this a step further, he's going to grab his back foot and do the same exact thing. He'll go forward. Now he's getting a stretch through the lower quads a little bit more. And he's going to feel that quite a bit there. He's going to go in, exhale, and pause 1 to 2 seconds every rep. Do sets of 8 on each side.
Get my hips opening up right now.
His hips are so open.
We've talked about ankle mobility, talked about a little bit of hip mobility. What if I'm squatting and my shoulders are rounding forward or my back is just super tight?
Your thoracic spine is your mid and upper back. It's meant to extend and rotate. There's a ton of drills. By the way, guys, there's a ton of drills we can show you for these, so we're going to keep spitting these out throughout the weeks.
A ton of them.
This one that I'm showing Ryan here is going to stretch both his adductors and inner thigh, and also get a good rotation through his thoracic spine as well. So go ahead, Ryan, put your right knee down on that pad. Let's get the left leg straight out this way. What he wants to do is have this left foot directly in line with the hip here. So he's going to move his foot forward a little more. Now what he's going to do is put his hands straight down on the floor, where each hand is directly underneath each shoulder. Now what I want you to do, Ryan, is just slowly rock your hips back. Give me a big exhale. What he's trying to do when he moves his hips back is he's trying to push his lower back into the floor. That's going to keep his back nice and flat. It's also going to give him a really deep stretch in that groin. You feel that, Ryan? Yep. All right, big exhale, bring it back. Now we're going to get the T-spine. This is the part we're talking about. Rock back again. We're going to get the T-spine here as he comes forward. Hold that position. I want you to rotate your left hand up, following with your eyes. And give me a big exhale. He's turning his chest, giving his pecs a little stretch there. Bring his hand back down. Now rock back again. So we have inner thigh stretch there, adductors. Come back forward, nice and slow. Rotate up for me. Push that right palm through the floor. Get that hand as high as you can. Getting that good extension rotation through the T-spine. This stretch will really help improve your squatting mechanics, but it'll help you move better in general.